Today, on The Terrible Warriors, we break out of character and check in with our group. Dr. Callus and Autumn and Blue may be trapped beyond our reach, but our players are right here at the table. How have they been enjoying Kult? What do they hope and fear for the future? GM Mitch invites Justin, Ainslie, and Kimberly to share their thoughts and desires in Part 4, Interlude.
I mean, welcome to another awesome, encouraging, fun-filled Kult day. Sunday, the most holy of days.
We come here to desecrate.
Hashtag good vibes only.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is perfect because the church crowd is out. They've gotten their food, and now we can just take in all their worship and faith and put it into Kult.
And we're recording, yes, this is coming out in the new year, but we're recording this at a time just at the beginning of winter when I look out my window and every tree is just dying and all the leaves are just losing their grip on the branches and falling away. And it just seems appropriate for some reason. Just
Much like me, who is also dead inside.
leaves on the wind.
What? I mean, so I say we go around and just from your character's perspective, what happened?
Okay, a lot happened. You know what? A lot happened. That's the problem.
Yes, you guys had been given plane tickets to cross the seas for your characters specifically Justin's character to continue his research in earnest. But you guys had some delays between when the lab exploded and to the day of the flight departure. And thus, Justin's character had to wheel and deal and offer up Blue as a sacrifice so that a dad can be a daddy again.
Yeah, it was like the game. The story started in the airport and it was about this plane flight, but it was really also taking place in this flat above some convenience store in, parts unknown. And we were bouncing back and forth in this fun non-linear way of a little bit of flashbacks to that negotiation and to those experiences, and then back to the terminal as we were getting ready. And we each had these private experiences while we were just in the waiting hall waiting for the plane to begin loading up. I mean, I got to get a boobie in my mouth, so that wasn't too bad for Aiden. But
Aiden breastfed. I think
yeah.
Opening that up sets the tone for the rest of the story.
Yeah. So that's where it started for Aiden, but not where it ended. Not at all. And Aiden, Aiden needs to start focusing his senses at locations where the illusion is weak. He needs to start doing more of that. He needs to start paying attention to his soul, because there's way too many moments where the illusion is clearly weak around him and he's not investigating that, and he's just like, this is fine as everything's on fire.
I mean,
wake up, sheeple.
If I do my job right, one day I'll ask you to see through the illusion. You'll say no.
No, thanks.
The illusion is fine as it is. Leave it.
Yeah, leave it. Don't touch it.
Yeah,
So I'll take
Cypher for the Matrix being like, I know the steak's not real, but it's a delicious steak. I'm going back
exactly.
in.
It's a delicious booby.
Yeah.
I just watched The Green Knight last night for the very first time. And there's a line, this is not a spoiler to anything, but there's a line where one character asks another, are you alive or are you a spirit? And the character looks back and says, what's the difference?
Mm.
I like it.
But I might have been going, this is great, but Autumn and Blue were distracted by other things there in the terminal.
Yeah, so in the past, um, Autumn has developed this sort of protectiveness of Blue, but because of their circumstances, they need a place to live. So also goes along with, I guess, sacrificing Blue to this creepy landowner so they can have a place to live, kind of for free, actually, which is very remarkable if you live in Toronto at all. It's just like, what? For anything? But yeah, before leaving on the airplane to the airplane terminal, Autumn had discovered a camera placed in the washroom of their apartment, and it was sticky. Why is the camera sticky? But then, yeah, there was some strange encounters at the actual terminal. This sort of intense sense of magic coming off of the boarding area of the flight 191. And then it all kind of devolved from there upon getting on the plane, and there was weird stuff happening and some repressed memories, and Autumn killed someone in one of those repressed memories with a scalpel, which is surprising and exciting. Excited to see where that goes.
Yes, and
I keep
Blue
wondering
got
if it's a real repressed memory or like, what was that book from the 80s that started the Satanic Panic about
D&D?
recovered memories? No, not
It's
D&D.
D&D.
No, it's an actual Emily
If they
Remembers or something
only
like that.
knew about cults.
I know, right?
I do wonder, Mitch, do we have a name for the blonde woman, the leader of the cult? That I can.
No, I'll let you name her.
Cool.
This
Cool.
is your intimate relationship.
So intimate.
Mm-hmm.
How was Blue's time on the plane?
Well, how was Blue's time on the terminal? Because Blue saw
yeah.
something that we didn't see down there too.
So Blue is first off, we did get a look at sort of her creepy sale to the landlord and for terms of rent. At the moment so far, it hasn't been the worst. It's been a lot of creepy church attendances, some uncomfortable fatherly with quotation mark touches, and a camera that she doesn't know about because no one's told her and she didn't discover it. As well as she's got a cell phone and she knows her daddy misses her, which makes her, she doesn't know how to feel about it, but she's starting to feel like maybe this is strange. Maybe this isn't great. Maybe her father doesn't have the same care for her in the way that Autumn or even the doctor has, in like a clinical sense of like care for her, wanting the best for her because she's a subject. And at the terminal, she, while trying to remember things, had a vision of a young girl with two women, and heard the name Fiona. Am I remembering this correctly? It was two women. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that's sort of the first big memory she's had in a while. And upon Autumn's suggestion, she hasn't quite revealed it all to the doctor. Aiden, what's your last name? I forgot.
Callus.
Aiden Callus, yes. So she hasn't told Dr. Callus yet exactly about it. And then we got on the plane where Autumn and Blue were absolutely terrorized when Aiden went away and had some terrifying bathroom moments. Blue. What?
That's going to be the name of the episode, isn't it?
Terrifying bathroom
moments.
Yep.
So relatable. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Am I ever gonna leave? I can't get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I left my phone. My phone.
Oh
dying.
God, that's the worst. Why did I eat that? I knew it would fuck me up. I will be here forever. I hope there's enough toilet paper. Dear God.
Oh God.
Yeah.
There isn't.
Yeah.
You have to start using your hand in the sink as a
Oh,
DIY
God.
bidet.
No. Oh God. The terrors. Yes, thankfully it was Aiden in the bathroom and not us. But then Blue was overcome by some sort of compulsion and ended up stripping in front of Autumn, and sort of as her first experiences with sexuality, especially considering she's like First,
You were possessed by one of your disadvantages, weren't you, as a medium, involuntary medium?
yes.
Yeah.
Considering that she's like a year old. She's a year old with like all the functions of what an adult should have, but doesn't quite understand the like morality systems and the way life is now. When she doesn't have the 20 years of experience or so she should have. So that was really creepy and terrifying. And then there was a weird woman outside the plane door. Oh yeah, that really scared me, Ainslie. I don't know.
Yeah, and then
scared,
Autumn just walked over and shut the door very slowly in front of this very terrible woman.
Who
Also
followed
someone
the
else
door
in the room with
closing
us?
as it was closing.
Mm-hmm. And there's a blue doppelganger somewhere. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Has Blue seen the blue doppelganger, or is it just you two seeing the blue doppelganger?
All of that is fine because I keep having memories about my fiance that I stole all of her ideas from, ruined her career, and has been living off of her accolades ever since. Don't know what happened to her. Maybe she's teaching high school somewhere. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure that final vision of the bathtub overflowing with water and the blood coming down to the door had nothing to do with untold fears or actual repressed nonsense that Aiden is not facing. It's preposterous. I'm far too successful to worry about things like that. And returning to the cabin, the time spent in flight, the things aren't adding up now as things are getting weirder on the plane. I recall opening up the window, though, and we're supposed to be on a transatlantic flight to Italy. Been in flight for, what seems like at least a few hours, so we should have crossed over the eastern seaboard from Atlanta. We're not that far from the coast in Atlanta, except there is no ocean underneath us. There's lots and lots of buildings, and like strange buildings going out above the sky or the cloud line, old looking buildings. There's lightning and all kinds of stuff. So I ran out of the door to investigate. And bumped into Autumn in the hallway.
We keep doing that. We gotta stop meeting this way.
And then Autumn mentioned something about, what, you left Blue alone?
Is that where we ended?
Of course I did. I left Blue fine in the cabin. It was fine. Blue's right in there. We're on a plane. Where can they go? And I opened the door.
I'm gone.
So now we got to track down Blue's clues. Find out what happened to Blue.
Blue's clues. Right. Because Blue has a notebook. Did you plan that?
Oh,
did you think about
That
that?
was not
Mitch, is the notebook still in the cabin that Blue owned?
I believe so.
So we do have Blue's clues. That
You
is
do.
I
episode
love
5,
it.
Blue's clues.
Can't believe that. I didn't even think that through, guys. I'm a genius.
Episode 4. We're up to episode 4 now.
I forgot. Is that where we ended? I'm disappeared. Oh no.
Yeah, where'd you go, Blue?
Gone, girl.
I'm scared.
Oh yeah, and yep. Man. Okay.
I hope this isn't like a Monster Hearts thing where the ghost just becomes non-corporeal and won't show up until someone notices that they're missing. I don't think it's going to be that easy. This is not my fault. No one told me not to leave Blue alone in our private cabin. We almost had 3 private rooms. Blue would have been alone then too. I am not to blame, and I'm never to blame. And that is the only lesson I took over the last 3 hours of our story.
Yeah. No,
Autumn's
that's
like,
fair.
if something's wrong, Aiden's probably to blame.
Yeah.
Aiden's probably involved, but that doesn't make it my fault. It just makes me unlucky.
I don't know. It's Satan's fault for sure.
Well, it's your fault. Whatever you did to my work, Autumn, that crap you put into my device,
I think
caused all
you,
of this,
sir.
ruined my reputation, destroyed
I
my
think-
lab.
Autumn's cult, as the story goes on, is like evolving into a very much like a man-hating cult.
It's turning
So-
into looks like Heaven's Gate.
I literally just watched
With a bit of
listened to a
Om
podcast
Shinrikyo
about
thrown
that.
into it.
Oh my god.
Are we caught up? Oh, we're caught up and I'm alone.
think-
I forgot about that.
I think we're caught up. Autumn, what are you worried about in the next session of game?
Honestly, Autumn Autumn as a character or Autumn as like me, a player? Because very different things. Autumn's worried about Blue. Autumn is currently actually in pretty good mental condition. Like Autumn's pretty composed because when Autumn learns something about the nature of the demons or the illusion, Autumn actually stabilizes a little bit, gets a little bit less stressed out. So right now, Autumn's composed, but I would say she kind of wishes she still had that scalpel that she had in that repressed memory. She kind of feels like she felt powerful in that moment. Me as a player, I'm just like bracing for the waves of chaos and confusion that I'm about to subject myself to because, wow, I slept kind of strange after. I had some weird dreams after our last session, so.
That's true.
I feel as Aiden, I'm only suffering from my disadvantages and I'm not getting to benefit from any of my advantages. I am especially... My advantages, this is as a player talking, are a little specific, right? They, when you find yourself in a life-threatening situation, well, I almost was hoping I was going to there in the terminal, but then that whatever was filling my throat didn't actually start drowning me. Same deal with as an inventor, Autumn. I might be looking to you to like, oh right, you're an engineer, Aiden. Build something. Whenever I'm about to create something, I have a move I can use, but I need to like remember that I have this like MacGyver-ish ability to, and I'm gonna have to put something together to contact Blue or to find something or to like reinforce a door or or any number of things. Or I'm gonna have to take the control of the plane or take this plane down. I don't know. But I've been playing Aiden as the privileged male asshole, but I also need to remember he is a genius inventor engineer. And so I'm hoping to be able to get to play a little bit with that because I feel like if I'm going to build something, it's only going to lead to even more bad results. But really, it doesn't matter what I want because Blue's the one who's missing. What are you worried about in the next session?
I, Ainslie, am actually really scared in a good way that Blue is alone. I'm like very terrified, and I forgot I left the last session being like, oh no, it's going to start with me alone. I think Blue, for the first time, is realizing she's vulnerable. Like that's sort of a new thing because like she's spent a year with like very few bonds. Her bonds have been you two and kind of Mr. H. I forget his name.
Mr. H is good.
Mr. H, yeah.
I feel like
Daddy.
we can stop reminding our Patreon
Daddy.
supporter that we've turned him into a child molester on our podcast.
Blue isn't a consenting adult. He just has some weird tastes.
Consenting is
But
a
I don't know
strong
if
term, but
Mr.
yes.
H's dead daughter was.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyway, yeah, her relationship with Mr. H. And
Or
now she's
missing.
sort of-
I don't know why I immediately jumped to dead. Just not around, not present.
Yeah, something sketchy there. But yeah, so she's had very few bonds, and now she is sort of realizing she can be made to feel uncomfortable, which isn't something she's had to deal with, considering she doesn't have many things that can be make her uncomfortable. But certainly stripping, certainly having random creepy people who are mouthing this words back to her, realizing that like their plane is not doing anything. She's feeling unsettled for the first time, and that's new and scary.
Well, get your content trigger warnings out of the way, everybody, because we're getting ready to go into our next story chapter. I've got my emotional support kitten right here on my left side that I'll be petting
nice.
throughout the
Yeah.
entire game.
Get your face ready for it.
I definitely like keep my animals out of the recording room because they're noisy, but I have things to fidget with, which kind of grounds me.
That's good. I was thinking I need to start crocheting during this.
I
'cause
have
wanna,
like
stay in
this
the
little
mood,
like
but-
donut shaped stone that's like really nice to like.
a worry
Yeah.
Oh, I
kind of.
have my human skull.
Oh, perfect.
That I'll touch.
Stroke very gently.
Shine.
Yeah, just like I'll stroke the hair.
I love it.
Nice.
Mitch, we haven't heard from you. Going into our next session of play, what's on your mind?
I am very excited to get down with Blue and to explore this next scene with her now that she is alone and feeling vulnerable. Yeah, I think this is the calm. It'll be nice.
Oh, right.
Oh boy.
And Blue, you got that scar on your belly, and now I'm worried that something has been put inside you and not taken out, but
I know.
maybe
What
that's,
did Daddy do?
maybe that's,
No.
maybe that's the name of the next episode.
We've got good options on the table.
So many trigger warnings here. Like, so
Yeah,
many.
Maybe that'll be the
All
name of the
them.
next episode. So many trigger warnings.
Prepare to be triggered.
Okay.
Fuck.
Cult Flight 191 will continue. And stay up to date with what we have planned by following us on Twitter at Dice Warriors. We have an exciting partnership with another network on Twitch coming up where myself, Justin, will be hosting live one-shot tabletop adventures every Tuesday evening through June and July. Precise details will be shared soon on our social media accounts, as well as the next episode of this very here podcast. Patreon supporters are the reason that the Terrible Warriors exist, and they get versions of each of our story episodes of Cult delivered to them in advance of the public feed. So if you'd like to lend your support to the production of this show and also get advanced copies of our episodes, visit patreon.com/Terrible Warriors as well. Every month, I host a private game for our Patreon sponsors. There's a chair at that virtual table waiting for you. There are more details on the page. Cult Divinity Lost is published by Helmgast. Our theme music is by Epic Game Music. All other music is licensed through Epidemic Sound. Editing by myself, Justin Ecock. Our Terrible Warriors for our Cult campaign are Justin Ecock, Ainslie Moores, Kimberly Doing, and GM Mitch Wallace. Next week on the Terrible Warriors, Blue. Blue has left some clues. Can we piece them together and find out what has happened? Well, until we find you again, thank you for listening. Be good to each other.